guys, welcome back to Shockwave Defense. Michael Johnson here with Maury Abreu from Omega Protective Concepts, and we're talking about the mental side and how Omega Protective Concepts and Shockwave Defense kind of blend that together to make it a powerful combination. It's so important to understand not only the techniques, but to understand a psychosomatic approach to defensive tactics training and defense training, because there's so many different things that kick into play that take all your techniques and throw them out the window, right, Maury? I mean, somebody's trying to stab you in the face with a fork and you're not thinking, what move was that in class? Like, there's a whole psychological aspect to that. So tell me a little bit about you guys' approach and how you guys learned.
Training only has any relevance and significance if you have the right mindset. Techniques only have relevance and validity if you have the right principles that oversee those techniques. What that may mean is you may train in a really constricted environment, for example, inside vehicles with a seatbelt on. Now try to access your weapon.
You see a lot of the stuff changing, and I think a lot of people get frustrated with martial arts because they go, well, it doesn't work, that didn't work. Well, it does work. It's just the reality is, in real time, what was going on 10 years ago, people have changed. You know, look at the UFC. Look at the ground fighting. Look at the combatives of that. We used to watch all of these guys go to the ground, and how often is that happening now in UFC? It's a lot less because people figured out how to counter it. So it's not that ground fighting doesn't work. It's that now that people understand it, so they counter it. So when we're dealing with reality-based defense structures, we have to understand that there's a mindset both on the side of the student, the side of the instructor, that they have to have this understanding that sometimes there's things that don't work, that aren't supposed to work, and they end up working. Other times there's things that you go, man, that's absolutely going to work, and it fails.
That's what I love about you guys. You're highly skilled, you have a hell of a reputation, but you don't set your basis on that. You set it really with establishing the right mindset and the right fighting attitude, and that's why we merge so well together.
I love that. I love that perspective. And what we're going to discuss in our next interview for next week is we're going to talk about the transitions between weapons, what would actually impact and make law enforcement and civilian training more effective, and then also why we're doing this extreme close quarters course instead of just having everybody stand out there and shoot at a target and be like, good job, you had a nice grouping. Because as you know, when you're dealing with a resistant environment, there is no grouping that's going to be like you get to stand in your Zen moment and be like, hard focus on the front sight. You know, like still trying to stab you in the face with a freaking, whatever he's got in his hand. That's a problem. So we're going to discuss that next week because we're out of time for today. We actually went a little bit over. Thanks for your time again today. And I look forward to chatting with you next week.
Yes, God bless. Thank you.
You too, brother.